Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is Donna with Sparrow Studio 7. Um, so, as I have said in a couple of videos, I just published a book. Very exciting. Praise be to God and all of that. I've also actually done two other books. One is called The Princess's Revenge, and the other is called Reverie, which is a poetry book. And they're actually all available on Amazon if you want to go check them out. But the point of tonight is that I told you guys that I would read you the prologue, just so that you can hear what's going on in the story or what happened before the story began. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So this is White and Gold by Donna Lewis, me, and this is the prologue, and I have hopefully subdued Feeny with a nice treat, so hopefully he won't be barking this video, but if he does, sorry about that. Anyways, on to the story. White and Gold by Donna Lewis. Prologue. The Princess Rika of the Gold stood looking over what once Lake Kel, lost in history. A sandy pit is all that is left of the nation's once bountiful food supply and natural landmark. She shivered despite the heat that reminded her of the stories her great-grandmother, Queen Solania Heki, told in the years leading up to her passing. Her eyes ran over the desert like a child unsure of the way home when she noticed the lone girl of white riding in the sand. Blinking in surprise at the girl's boldness, the people of the white story came rushing back. Before the reign of Queen Solania Heki, there was a mutinous war. An evil sorcerer named Zydo the Sandstorm had stirred up the people against the current queen and brought disorder and chaos. Much blood and anguish was shed on both sides. The war raged on, much like the storm predicted by Zydo and his followers, who, through rumor, superstition, and evidence brought by magic, drove the royal Hekis, known for ruling their nation with kindness and justice, from their homeland. Zydo's followers told stories of a storm that would turn their lush green world into a wasteland. Queen Lamia continued to plead for her people to see reason even as she and her family were exiled. On the day of their banishment, she and her family were exiled publicly, then taken in a private caravan to the border. The soldiers forced them to where Zydo was waiting to see them off. Turning in defiance, Lamia looked at her beautiful land once more and fell to her knees before Zydo, her head held high. See reason, there is no need to use your magic to destroy the land with vile superstition and lies. How many more people have to die before this foolishness is through? Reaching out to grasp his arm, she pled that her land be spared if she could not. Her nails dug into his skin, nearly ripping his robe as she pulled herself towards him, almost prostrate in distress. Her white crown fell from her head into the dark earth as she studied the man before her, looking for an ounce of humanity. I beg of you, take my life, not the lives of my people. Dressed in purple and green robes, he wore a golden wreath around his head and shivered in disgust at the queen's touch. As you wish, my queen, there needs to be just one. Saying this, he stepped forward, stabbing her through the heart. He straightened and wiped his blade across her dress, staining the green red with blood. He signaled to his soldiers the order to kill them all. He strode from the massacre, deciding it is time to bring the final ruin. Weaving his magic, he cursed the land he had conquered, conjuring the very storms he had threatened, covering the once green Navarres in scorching yellows, leaving the land and people broken and desolate. Since then, the Navarre people have learned to adapt. Fearing their leader, they wore gold to welcome the sand, and saw white as treasonous loyalty to their old queen and her ways. With their growing fears being fed by the sandstorms destroying everything in sight, and the rumors that the queen never made it to exile, persecution began. For their unwillingness to accept the punishment brought by nature, the lovers of the cool, lush mountain greenery were stripped of speech by Zido the Sandstorm and his followers, and were forced to serve the wearers of the gold. Their beloved queen soon became a forbidden memory. Her legacy and their traditions lost to the magician's thirst for blood and magic. He had cursed them all to a sandy hell, and the people of the White suffered bitterly. Years after the magician's death, when Rika's great-grandmother, Sidisa the Strong, came to power, she allowed the persecution of the White to escalate from oppression to complete servitude, all in the name of peace, conducted by the deceitful priesthood in which she placed her trust. This law pacified everyone who was loyal to her, the common people, the righteous priesthood, and the royalty of the once beautiful Navarre. She signed their servitude into law and had members of the priesthood strip the people of the White of their speech and their names, leaving them with nothing but their pride for not for political power. Thus the land fell into a period of balance. If the common people were no longer the lowest class, then they were appeased with the White serving all. If those of the religious order were controlling all the religion and some political power, then they were appeased because they had more freedom. Finally, the royalty showed respect to all but those in white because they wore the magician's gold and looked to the religious order for justice. If the white were abused, all had a common enemy. Thus the harshness of the land matched Queen Sidisa's ruthless reign, and it led to deeper bitterness and division within the land between those honored of gold and those enslaved in white than what was seen in Zido's time. Unlike the gold overlords, the people of the white never forgot their beloved queen and told her story from generation to generation, praying to her unseen that someday freedom would come and they could speak again. Unsure of what to do, Rika of the Gold watched the girl for a while. A sheen of sweat formed on her forehead as she played in the sand with her toes. How she wished she were already queen, so she had the power to order the temple priesthood to free the people of the white once and for all. Looking over her shoulder, she scanned the sands until she saw her nurse and servants, who were also people of the white. They were far off enough that she could slip away without being noticed. She was due back at the palace after all. Maybe, just maybe, she would be able to help this girl and make a difference in her nation. Her parents were gone on an ambassador mission and had granted her a steward to help her watch over the small nation in their absence. He would be fine for a week without her or so, surely. Perhaps this girl was the key to bringing the people of the white their freedom. Perhaps Princess Rika of the Gold and this girl would be able to bring them hope. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it intrigues you to want to read the rest of the book. But if it doesn't, that is A-okay. I'm just glad that I got to share this piece with you. And you'll be getting a very excited video when I finally get my author copy. Love you guys and God bless. Later.